Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Tanay All at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices with one another in order to inspire future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by our industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leader interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other great leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for so many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge sharing community. We have one such multi-sectoral veteran on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Captain O.P. Dua. He is an exemplary leader and a seasoned professional who embodies a career marked by dedication, innovation, and transformative leadership. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Captain Dua has showcased his remarkable abilities across various domains, leaving an indelible mark in each role he undertook. His leadership qualities and people management skills are what he owes to the sense of camaraderie that he developed and perfected during his military tenure of 27 years, marked by versatility and instrumental and pioneering activities. Currently, he is CEO and director in Aayur Technology Solutions, which specializes in the domain of defense technologies, which is based out of Bengaluru. He is instrumental in some of the Make in India programs in the defense technology domain. We welcome you on the show today, sir. It's our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
So the first question we have is, Captain, could you let our viewers know about your career journey so far?
Definitely, it's a pleasure. And I would start my career journey starting from my school. So that was the first step I took in my life. Having been born in a very simple family, I did my schooling in Delhi. And I am pleased to share that on completion of my higher secondary, the so-called way back in 1976, I found myself in a different world when I saw my name in the newspaper. When out of 65,000 students, I found my I was 16 and a half. That gave me a new direction in life, that this is only the first stepping stone. I joined Delhi College of Engineering for a specialization in electrical engineering from 1976 to 81. I'm proud of myself that from this stage only, I became a self-made person. At the age of 16, I utilized my spare time to teach some students, earn for myself, and sponsor my studies. I never wanted to depend on anybody, including my parents, for my studies expenditure, except their blessings, which I get till to date. 5 years of Delhi College of Engineering went off beautifully, and I graduated from 1976 to 81 with distinctions in electrical engineering. Now, Delhi College of Engineering is a very reputed institute, and it opened multiple avenues for me to start my career. So I closed my eyes, thinking as to what I should do. And I'm doubly proud of myself that I decided to be a man in uniform, a soldier. And I joined Indian Navy in 1981. And I'm very happy when I look back that I took one of the best decisions of my life. That's the most cherished period of my life, which till today I remember, because that also gave me a very sound foundation to move ahead in life till to date. After having joined the Navy in 1981, after the initial training, I was very fortunate that I got selected to go to the Soviet Union at that time in 1985 for my advanced studies and training in defense systems, electronics, basically platform specific, submarine specific. And I went for higher studies to a place called Riga, which is the capital of Latvia, which of course, as of now is a part of the Europe. But that time it was part of the Soviet Union, the superpower was there. At a very young age, the first thing I realized that my entire training had to be in a language which is not known to me. That was Russian language.
Wow.
So first I learned the Russian language to do my postgraduate studies equivalent in the defense electronics in Riga in one of the defense training center. I completed my training. During this time, I got to know a different country, a different culture, a different way of life, which helped me to open up my mind and grew up in my life as a different person. Having completed the training, I came back to India in end 86, and I was again selected to go for commissioning of submarines. So at a very young age, when you commission a submarine or you commission a ship abroad, where you have to depend on yourself, it takes you to a different level of maturity, different level of decision making, and a different level of skills, which at a very young age, I had the distinction of being a commissioning crew, where I had to take responsibility of my part of the ship. These are some of the attributes which helped me further as I moved ahead in life. The Navy life was good. I continued in different assignments. And the first turning point came in 91, where I was selected to go for Masters in International Relations and Defense Studies, sponsored by Navy at the Defense Services Staff College, Wellington, which is affiliated to the Madras University at that time. I went through this course and I realized that how much I know and how much I do not know. Most of the time, we boast of ourselves as to what we know.
Yeah.
But having studied in international relations, I realized how much I do not know. With engineering background and defense electronics and computer science background, I realized that the international relations is such a wonderful subject, and economics is the foundation of that. And I have no knowledge about this subject. This encouraged me to pursue my higher studies in different fields. And after completing my master's in international relations and defense studies, I did my first course as post-graduation in international business. So that is what made me understand the whole world and the dynamics as to what drives the relationship and the group dynamics among various nations. This did not satisfy. In fact, it gave me an urge to learn more, because every time I went ahead, I realized there is much more to learn. And I went on to do my MBA in finance thereafter to further consolidate my position. The career in Navy was good. I went again and again to Soviet Union. By this time, post-perestroika and glasnost. These are the two Russian words which Mikhail Gorbachev had propagated, and the Russia disintegrated. Soviet Union disintegrated and various countries emerged. I went for training, I went for refits, I went for induction of missiles, more advanced weapon systems, and I'm happy to say that I even got the opportunity to be at Central Design Bureau Rubin in Russia, which specializes in the design of nuclear submarines. I became a captain, and I was fortunate to go through College of Defense Management, where I did my second master's in management studies. It's important to acknowledge this part, because our armed forces are a very structured organization, a system-driven, rules-driven. And believe me, till today, when I have come to the corporate world, and I today study about the company law or various dynamics, I realized that the foundation in the service, where you are a part of the system-driven approach, has really helped us to migrate so smoothly. The transition is so smooth. But the foundation was at that time. Last 5 years of my life in service, I was in a place where indigenous nuclear submarine construction program is taking place. And I'm proud that I was part of the team which was instrumental in building India's first nuclear submarine, INS Arihant. 2007, on completion of almost 26 and a half years, I decided to have a different way of life, different walk of life, though I could have continued. But, many a time, many decisions are based on your intuition, your inner instincts, which compel you to take certain bold decisions. And I stepped out. Maybe life had something different to offer. And 2007, when I came out, I was fortunate that I got a chance to become chairman and managing director of a public sector company, California. It is a Kerala-based PSU which specializes into electronics and other products. Now, when you start your career first time in the corporate world, and that too, when you straight away take over as chairman and managing director, with no background, no grassroots, foundation, it becomes a double challenge. I must also be candid that this organization had kind of suffered losses, and they were a loss-making PSU for years together. Though at one time they were the Navaratnas of this country, having produced the first TV set. But they did not move with the tide. They did not imbibe new technologies, and gradually the organization saw deterioration in their performance. And then the massive losses having been accumulated, I took over as the chairman and managing director of the entire group. 3 years was a learning curve. Firstly, this was my first tenure outside the Navy. Secondly, I was heading thousands of people, and I was responsible to take care of them. I was responsible to take care of their families, children, and overall growth of the organizations. Sometimes these things drive you a passion. And it was a transition for me from a military life to a civil life. I only asked myself one question: how do I succeed? How do I achieve what I want? The only answer came is do your job passionately. I figured out the gaps in the system. I figured out the obsolescence part of the organization. I figured out the skill sets and the knowledge level required in the organization for it to grow. And 3 years of non-stop, round-the-clock work helped me to transform the entire loss-making organization back to the vibrating organization. And I'm glad today they have survived, they have grown, and they are doing very well. But the foundation from 2007 to 2010, which was the most challenging period of that company, was handled by me. And by the grace of God, I almost got converted into a kind of change management expert. I never studied that subject. I was very natural. I knew what to do today. And each day was a lesson for me. Each day brought me closer to the people. Each day gave me something new to learn. But I was determined that I'll make it success, and it actually happened. 2010, though I could have continued in California as a CMD, since things were going very well. But again, I said the intuition comes, the intuitive feeling comes, and I said, let me do something well. And after completion of my tenure, I stepped into a proper private sector. I joined HBL Power Systems, which was at that time close to 1,500 crores. And I took over as the executive director of the company. Now, this was a totally different world. From a loss-making public sector undertaking to a very highly profitable private sector. But I realized that it has its own challenges. Very large private sectors, which are into thousands of crores, they need to grow, they need to sustain, they need to enhance their profitability. And the kind of people were different. So you have to move very fast to ensure that you maintain your position in the market as a market leader. And for 2 years, I was instrumental to bring newer technologies, newer product range, setting up some new SBUs, which involved my traveling abroad and having been brought newer technologies. So it was a very, very satisfying 2 years of tenure. And after PSU tenure, this 2 years gave me the first gap to be bridged in my blooming career in the corporate sector. But I realized the journey is actually beginning to start now. After 2 years, I thought, let me learn something new, which is only possible when I step into different industries, different place, so that my learning curve continues. I joined 2 companies of Chemtrol's Industries Mumbai Group as, again, executive director, one in Bombay and one in Goa. This necessitated frequent travels between the 2 cities and handling 2 different companies in 2 different domains with different product range. So the experience and the learning curve, which I was looking forward to, continue. I continued that professional assignment for 2 years. In the meantime, I had continuously kept my educational efforts, qualification also on the track. As I mentioned, after my postgraduate equivalent studies in Latvia, that Soviet Union, I had done my master's in international relations, followed by international business, MBA in finance, master's in management studies, and also I managed to qualify as SAP consultant through Siemens. I mean, at the age of 46, I realized it's never too late to add such skill sets to your life, which you never know will help you at some stage. I spent 2 years in Chemtrol's Industries with a different experience. And by this time, I felt I'm reasonably confident and comfortable in the corporate world, because at every step, I was able to achieve what I wanted. Very simple approach, very honest approach, heart to heart. I continue to be a soldier, a discipline. Now, discipline doesn't mean that you have to stand in a straight position. Discipline in thinking, discipline in operations, discipline in conduct, discipline in behavior, discipline in dealing with the human beings, all aspects I mean. So I came back thinking, what next? I didn't know the destiny has something different in store for me. And through an Indian software company, Bangalore based, I landed up in US, Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. That is the east coast of US. And I did my next assignment in the IT industry, delivery of IT solution, especially SAP as a global delivery head. Now, this close to 2 years of my tenure in US gave me a totally new dimension where, from the business perspective, a different kind of organization, different kind of people, different expectations of the US society. This was a further icing on the cake. And I came back in 2016 from US. Now, by this time, I've served in Navy for 25 years as a soldier, a CMD of a PSU for 3 years with very successful and a pleasant experience, executive director in HPL, 2 companies in Chemtrol's Industries, and a very satisfying tenure in US. So I decided to be on my own, but through my own consulting organization, which I started, I still managed to get very challenging assignment where once again I landed to be CEO of F10 Engineering, which is again a Chennai-based, to a very specific Bengaluru-based organization for 2 years, which required a turnaround efforts, and followed by my tenure as a CEO and a director of Aayur Technologies, for which I'm part of it. It's kind of my own organization with my colleagues. A very satisfying tenure. The last 5-6 years I've been here. In the meantime, I've also been associated as a global business head of an IIoT 4.0 of another Bangalore-based organization, which is a very fast emerging organization. So I had multiple assignments, multiple challenges in life, and today I stand here. And now, having successfully completed this independent director's examination, I feel that I am very confident to contribute my 42 years of experience in different industries, different assignments, to contribute, take the organizations forward, lead the people with same passionate and dynamic approach. So this has been more or less a professional journey for me in the last 42 years.
Lovely to hear that, sir. Sir, was the transition from military to the corporate world smooth, or did you face any challenges?
I would be very honest. I feel that the transition from any walk of life to any other walk of life is extremely difficult if you lack the attributes. And it is extremely simple if you know how to go about it. My first learning is that if you are good with the human beings, if you are honest with them, if you have very clean intentions of taking them forward and giving them what they need, you will always be accepted anywhere you go in life because you are honest in your heart. When I went to Keltron, which was my first organization, let me give you one very nice one or two examples. The group of workers came to me and they said, "Sir, we want 100 rupees increase." Now, I'm talking of way back 2007. So I said, I've come to this organization alone. My family was in Bangalore. And you're asking me 100 rupees. I am a military man. I start my day with a long cross country with a good jogging. And I have a habit of having a cup of tea, which costs 3 rupees. And in Kerala, you have that 4 inches small glass of chai. So I said, if I assume that you, your wife, and 2 children are there, and I spend 100 rupees in the morning tea plus outside before jogging, you're asking me only 3 rupees per day, which I spend, and 1 centimeter of equivalent of chai. I mean, I spoke that language. Why don't you ask me 1,000 rupees? I mean, I'd come from a very different exposure of so many organizations. You should ask me different. They looked at me. They were stunned because no managing director has ever spoken like that. I said, no, you have to think big. I will guide you. I will show you the direction. And I will give you what you want in life. Now, this touched their heart. In these PSUs, sometimes they have that little bit of, trade unions and politics. These are all accepted facts. So I asked one gentleman who was supposedly a very strong person. I said, do you carry a bag of fruits to your children when you go home? He said, sir, my salary does not permit. I said, if you continue to waste your time with what you are doing, you will never be able to take it. Let's change our direction. So then the hope, the prosperity inside, and the true feeling to take them forward and really, give them a better life, not only them to their families, to the children. Somehow I feel the transition became a very easy process. They could feel that here is a man who is honest in his thinking, is honest in his approach. He will do what he says. And what he says, he will definitely do. So that I found the transition is extremely pleasant, acceptable, and always remember the 25 years of experience in armed forces, where you actually learn to deal with human beings. You stand at the border, there is a bullet coming from an enemy. You do not know whether this bullet is going to hit on your chest or the soldier who's with you. And you are telling him, run with me, march with me. You are motivating that chap, and he actually runs with you without knowing whether the bullet will hit the Jawan or the bullet will hit the officer. So that kind of a grooming was there. That lead the people from the front, take care of them, and most important, be honest with them. So I found the transition was extremely pleasant, very easy, very smooth, and I never had any difficulty. At the same approach, same logic, same principles, I kept on applying in my subsequent assignment, and the process became very easy. Actually, the transition is the challenges only come in the first assignment. If you're very tough and stiff, and I'm a military man, and I and you are you will probably face challenges. But if you are a grounded person, know the realities, respect the human beings, empathize, understand what they want, and also figure out what you need to do to give them what they want. Transition is never difficult.
So, what values have you carried over from your military career phase to your corporate career phase?
Many. First of all, a career in armed forces makes you a disciplined person. No, disciplined is one word, but it encompasses many attributes. First of all, the discipline makes you true to your job. Very important requirement in any walk of life. Second important attribute is that you develop the courage of conviction to take moral responsibilities of what you do. Should something go wrong, you say, my shoulders are broad. I take the responsibility. It's a very important attribute to succeed anywhere in life. Then, of course, passion. You see, when you run your ship, you say, I will not come back without completing my mission. When a ship goes on a 15-day sailing program, some missile firing, etc. So you develop that attribute that I will very passionately do my job. Then, of course, passion and love, not only for your job, for your people. I would automatically assume that once you are in the uniform, integrity, transparency are a part and parcel of your nature, part and parcel of it, which again are the two attributes, stroke values, whatever you want to term it, are very important. In sum total, all these things that a passionate, disciplined person comes to any organization where he says, follow me, do the way I am suggesting you to do things with honesty, integrity, and from your heart. Finally, the human beings, it's heart-to-heart communication which enables you to lead people. So these values come, and then of course you have a proper vision or mission, that where I am today and where I want to be. That's another kind of an approach we have in life, which based on your value system, or attributes, or habits, or personality. I mean, they're all different English words, but they all mean the same, They help you to drive the team. And all these things were the one which I carried from military and very successfully implemented in the corporate life. Let me share one personal thought. Be it military, be it corporate, be it civil. Human beings are same, human nature is same, challenges are same. So basic approach has to be changed. What perhaps changes is the type of business or the type of skill sets people have or type of challenges. They may vary, but basic fundamentals will have always been same and will remain same in the text.
Yes, sir. So, how did you develop an interest in corporate governance?
I think half the answer I've given when I was in Keltron, my first assignment, when I was having a smooth transition from military to civil life. When I saw thousands of people who, by virtue of a loss-making organization, haven't grown the way they could have, I even wondered what kind of quality life they give it to their children. These kind of answers are not there in any books, but they are the real answers.
Yeah.
What kind of life their children will lead, what kind of a future they will build. So why not enable them to bring up their children? Why not give them a better future for the society? Now, in order to do so, you have to be prosperous. You have to be a profitable organization. At the end of it, it's your financial strength which will enable you to achieve these things. Only communication or conversation that does not yield into the end results. So the solution lies in making your organization prosperity centric, growth centric, profit centric, future centric. Now, in order to do so, you have to look at yourself. Am I doing my job properly? When I say I does not mean only the individual. I mean as an organization, am I on the right track? Are all my operations are on the right track? Do I have a clear vision or no? But the fundamental approach came from my heart when I started my career in the corporate world, civil world. From there, that emerged, and it necessitated that I should follow rules, regulation, and apply my mind as to what needs to be done in very simple word to bring prosperity to the organization. And that compulsorily necessitated that I follow and adhere to compliances which are a part of the corporate governance, which subsequently in subsequent assignments kept on getting strengthened. But these were the basics. And that is what leads you to corporate governance. Let me add one thing. Now, since I have hands-on experience on corporate governance for the last 16, 17 years, I would first use the word governance. Governance in military, where you have well-structured, very system-driven way to run armed forces, document, discipline, time, delivery, accountability, organizational spending, etc., etc. Same basic principles are applicable today in the corporate world also. The way to do may differ, but fundamentals are same. So that is how I found it extremely comfortable, convenient, use these attributes, value systems, and I was pretty comfortable to move ahead in life.
Sir, as a corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table the most?
The attributes which I have mentioned, these things, that what values I'll bring. First thing is when you come to any corporate and you are responsible as a director, as an independent director, you have to ask yourself, am I going to ensure that this organization moves forward? Now, this necessitates certain principles, certain approach. And some of the attributes which I mentioned just now. Do you believe in ethical code of conduct? Do you believe in transparency? Do you believe in integrity? Do you have an appetite for growth? Do you lead your people with passion? Now, you add all these attributes. I mean, I can add 5 more and 10 more. These are all English words. But in these 5 things I've said, if you sum total these things, basics, this is what is required for us to take the organizations forward. And this is what should be the aim of a senior person who is more of a mentor, guide, teacher, who shows the right direction with the right qualities. If this is done, there should be no looking back for any organization.
Sir, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology, and what changes do you expect to see in the future with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0?
First of all, let me answer in 2 parts. There are lots of changes in the defense technologies since I had an organization in Bangalore. Under Atmanirbhar, today there is a thrust to stand on your own feet. Import list is reducing, and rightfully so. There are enough encouraging messages from government, right direction to DRD organizations, right direction to defense PSUs like Bharat Electronics, Hindustan Aeronautics. So all these indigenous thrust on these technologies, things like new fire control system, new sonar system, new radar systems, and I'm very closely associated with all these systems because we supply these systems to various platforms. So the indigenous effort by our own DRDO scientists, by a lot of private companies like L&T, Adani, Tata Advanced Systems, but they are coming forward. And I find that the way innovation, the new efforts are taking place, today defense technologies is the buzzword. In fact, if you see in the last 10 years or so, our export in defense itself has grown to around 16,000 crores. Exact figure approx we need to check. But that's the kind of changes taking place in the defense technologies. Now you asked me another question on the IoT. Let me give you a little holistic picture. Let's say IoT, okay, digital manufacturing, for example. I picked up one example. I can talk about smartphones, I can talk about cameras, but I think it's a little more relevant because that will give a more holistic way to look at what is IoT. Now, earlier in the digital manufacturing, for example, we would physically go to shop floor, check whether a machine is working or not working, whether the concerned person is there or not there. There is inefficiency. Today, with this IoT technologies, to be more specific on IoT 4.0, you have, let's say, 100 machines. I'm giving a very simple example just to conceptualize the entire gamut of technology. So you pick up the signal whether a machine is running or not, whether the correct operator is identified himself with his biometrics or not. Now, all these input signals come to in a shop floor somewhere called edge computing device. And from here, now you need to communicate this data or take it forward to cloud-based server. So you have your own communication protocols. And the reverse way, an application software is there on the cloud server. Now, from the application layer, it comes back and actually controls the performance of machine, whether machine should stop or machine should continue to run. Now, I've given you an example as to how IoT technologies work, let's say, in one example, in a digital manufacturing. Now, I'll come to the next step. When the data shifts or travels or communicates, how do you ensure the security? Are you sure your data, your system is not having vulnerabilities? Are you sure that there will be no hacking? So there is a need to look at newer technologies where your data is encrypted, security is there. And that's where, things like your blockchain concept has come, where you have a set of data at one block or at one stage and you encrypt, and then it goes to the next stage. And next stage is totally different and it is linked to the hash with the previous block. So you ensure that the data which is there in these new concepts is encrypted, secured, and travels. So such data also, this approach blockchain becomes a part of the IoT. Now I'm merging two concepts. First, I gave you a concept of how IoT functions. Now, how does it function? Now, having understood this, the next question would come, how does the data travel? What kind of internet I have? We had, all of us know, internet 1.0 way back from late 90s and around 2014 onwards, web 2.0. Now, web 1.0 was read only. Web 2.0 was read and write only. Like, Facebook, etc. But today the need has come that, am I able to interact? Am I able to analyze? Am I able to look at my data in isolation? So I need to have the protocols inbuilt in an internet system, which is, of course, the future. It's not really taken at the grassroots level. So it's a must that I should also have an internet with the different protocols. And that is where the Web 3.0 is going to play a very important role. So now I make a triangle with three vertices, IoT on one side, data encryption and security, and the medium to shift on it. Let me add one more dimension. The machines per se, whatever is a part of my system, do I every time need to break my head to decide what they want? No. Do they have their independent algorithm, which based on the data which they have generated, they are able to use their own algorithms for decision making? So machine learning has also become an integral part of this subject. We all know human mind, we have a brain. So there's a word called neuro. Neuro is nothing but a different word for brain. But today, neural networks, which help you to develop algorithms, which is a simulation of natural God-gifted brain, has gone into the development of artificial intelligence, which again take you to different subjects. So we need to look at all these things as a system where all these technologies combined will ensure that the digital transformation, which is the need and the reality in the times to come, are there. So this is where we stand. This is where all these technologies will play a big role. And big data, today large organizations have phenomenal amount of data. What do you do with that? Will your traditional databases help you to do the analysis based on previous tool? Extremely difficult. So you need newer tools, etc., to finally achieve the objective of decision making. After the large size of data, you need to do what? You need to help. They should help you for bigger decision making. If you recall, like in technology like SAP, etc., you have business warehousing where years of data is stored. And finally, what do you do? Does it help you in the decision-based system? So that is again a part of this entire system that is functional. I would put it digital transformation, one word which encompasses all these technologies. They have their role. Now we may have only IIoT, may not have Web 3. IIoT is working on Web 2.0 also. Fine, good. But will that augment my efforts? Yes. Can I just go ahead without encryption of data from one stage to another? Bulk data. So far we have been doing. Why not follow blockchain concept? The more you integrate these technologies, the more robust digital transformation efforts will be.
That's excellent example, sir. I mean, very well explained, sir, to someone who would be listening to all this for the first time. Sir, as you know, we're building a community here of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts such as you. Sir, what are your thoughts about this initiative taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
It's an excellent initiative taken by two of them. In fact, I'll be honest, I was doing some studies on YouTube. And suddenly I saw an advertisement in between by Mr. Heval Mehta. Do you know the gap of available independent directors vis-a-vis the ground reality? And that caught my attention. Why not use your experience in this domain where there's a need? And then when I joined this course through WDC and went through some of the training courses online by Mr. Zishan Pathan, it's such a wonderful way to make you feel comfortable knowledge-wise. Okay, maybe I had 40 years of experience. It was easy for me to assimilate and move very fast. But comparatively, let's say 10, 15 years younger person is making effort. So this initiative taken by both of them has been very, very user-friendly. I mean, that's why I put it in a very simple word, to prepare talent in this direction, in this domain. So I salute them, like in a military language, for the initiative they've taken. And God bless this community and this camaraderie to grow more and more with the collective efforts of all of us.
Great, sir. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will greatly inspire future leaders. Thank you again, Captain, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.